with Gordon on the wrong side, yeah.
How do you feel about the challenge of Kilmarnock away?
That is a difficult one, we know. So we will approach that game like all of the games with respect for the opponent, but also respect for ourselves. So to play our own game, although you need to adapt to a totally different kind of football because of the pitch. What's not easy, but we did it before in Livingston, and we need to do it again. It's only one important, and that's getting 3 points. But it will be totally different game than we normally play.
How much emphasis do you put on looking back at the team's defeat there early in the season and learning, or is it a clean slate now that you're here and a lot of time has passed since then?
You mean the beginning of the season, first game that they lost? It's a totally different story. So there were other ideas, other players also. A lot of things have changed, so I don't think you need to put a lot of emphasis on that. No, the guys are focused and they know they need to adapt to other circumstances. They have respect for the opponent also, about how they are doing things. They had, if I'm well informed, 6 Old Firm games until now this season, and they won 3. 1 draw and 2 losses. One time against us at Ibrox. That one I remember. So no, we're gonna go there full focus, but we know it's one of those dangerous moments that it can be a bump on the road.
Can I ask you about Jack Butland? There was a story this morning that he's in contention for a recall to the England squad. How pleasing is that for you to hear as club manager?
No, I would love that he could be there, because he deserves that he's ready in that way. If he deserves enough, that's the decision of Southgate, of course. And yeah, he's been really good for the team, although he had less job to do the last couple of weeks. But he keeps the same concentration, the same seriousness. He's important in the dressing room, in the trainings, and he's gonna be very important in the next couple of weeks and months, because we have a lot of games to go and a lot of important games, and you need people with personality then.
Luke, you said it's a different sort of challenge on that pitch. What is different about it? What will the different challenge be?
A lot of things. I made a comparison with a game of tennis, with playing at Wimbledon or on a clay court. It's a little bit like that. Of course, it's different sports, but the ball goes faster, so you need to be more precise. On a grass pitch, when you give a pass, it slows down after a while. On artificial, it keeps its speed, or it goes even faster along the way. The ball bounces in a totally different way. If you give passes in the air or shots at goal, you cannot go with your foot underneath the ball like you normally do on a grass pitch. So you need to adapt your body towards that. Also, the way of turning, the way of sprinting, the way of stopping is also different. So that's a lot of things. That is different, but it is what it is. And in the league, there's a decision that for the moment it's still possible to play on those surfaces. I don't think in Premier League it's still possible, or in La Liga, or in the top leagues. But I hear in Scotland everybody's also convinced now it's not the best way to play football, but we're going to go there to get the 3 points. And I said it before also, before Livingston. I don't care at the end if it's on that pitch or on the parking lot that we need to play. We're going to go there to get the 3 points. That's the only important.
You often come up against teams with a low block, but Kilmarnock have shown that they play 2 at top. They did that in Celtic as well. Is that a different sort of challenge then when you face a team like
No, the other teams have done it also. So we know what we have to do in those circumstances. They can do it in different ways. Kilmarnock, and we will see tomorrow. But that's the good thing about being now 4 months together. We trained on a lot of things, also on things that we didn't see that much with other teams. So the team is prepared, whatever way they do it. And that's important.
How's your squad?
Yeah, the squad is okay. Only thing, so no injuries or more injuries after last game. Only thing is that I cannot put Kemarouf in the selection again because of the surface. So that's a clear message from my medical staff that it's too risky. After his injury and amount of injuries, so in that way it's a disadvantage to play on that kind of pitch. But okay, we need to adapt again, so chance for another player then.
You were told about this one being a dangerous fixture. Is that because of the pitch or because of the form Kilmarnock are in, or a mixture?
Both. But at the end, I will see danger in every game. Because if you don't have respect for your opponents, then you become lazy, sloppy, but Kilmarnock, yeah, their track record from the last couple of months is really good. They're gonna make it a huge fight. We know how they play, and we need to be ready for that. And my players need to be ready for that, not only me.
Can you prepare for playing on a plastic pitch? Have you been training for that national game?
We have done that today, yes, to get a feeling also. But we didn't have a lot of time to train because it's every 3 days game, so we could only do it today.
You've been rotating your players a lot, Philippe, and after the game on Saturday, Cyril said to you that he wants to play all the time, and you persuaded them that that's maybe not a good idea. Is there other players in the squad who have came to you?
I think almost everybody. I think almost all of them. They want to play every game. For sure when you're winning, they want to play all the games. All the players. If you start to lose games, then you have less players who want to play all the games. It works like that. No, I think all of them, and that's a good thing. They need to focus on what they have to do to play a lot of minutes and to do the right things for the team, and then they will get minutes, and it's my job to think who we're gonna take every time and how we're gonna do it as a squad. And now, in the beginning, it's always more difficult. It's not a new thing. It was the same in my other teams also, in periods like that, because it's the only way to be there on top every time in the way we want to play football with a lot of intensity. So you cannot do it with the same 12, 13 players for months, every 3 days. It's impossible. So the team understands the story now. Are they totally happy with that all the time? No. But they're totally happy all the time until now that they are in this good story now together, and they feel also that they're winning a lot of games, and they get also enough minutes to shine, to be in the spotlight.
Do you feel that those 4 or 5 players who are coming on every week have added determination to show you that they should be playing from the start?
Yes, that's one part, but also there's a lot of togetherness in this group now. I will give one example. In my debriefing of the game, the last game, we showed several things, what we did well, what we can do better, like always, and one of the things were the goals also. So there was a really good assist of John Suter for the goal of Cyril. And one of the other center backs who didn't play was really looking at him like, I cannot use this one word, but really well done like that. And I told them also, guys, this makes my day, because there you show that you're really a team. If you're competing with each other and you can be genuine happy about somebody else doing something really good, then you're a team. And today I saw another example. I see one of the attacking players miss a chance, and the other one make a sound like the birds, that he was killing the birds. And they both were laughing with it, although they were competing for a position. And that's really strong. And that I want to keep until the end of the season, and then it's going to be a really good season if everybody keeps on doing that.
The defender sounds like Liam Balogun.
No, I don't want to say names. I don't want to say names.
How different,
Maybe you're wrong.
how different is that mood within the squad and around the club when you first came in? Was it something that you addressed through, trying to put that confidence back in the players, and it's also happened quite naturally over the last 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, it's not something you can force. You cannot give them a drink and then suddenly they have this unity and they have this feeling. It's everyday work together. Also to convince them about that is the best way to feel good yourself also. And it's not about playing 60 or 65 games every time 90 minutes, because at the end, if you win trophies, 2 years later you don't remember if you played 62 games or 47 or 33. You don't know, and people don't know also. They only remember who were the guys who won something. That is what people remember. So I hope that after this season people will remember a lot of players, because they wrote already history by winning this League Cup, and we want more, and that's what they are working for.
How is Abdallah in terms of his return? Is he on course on the original time?
He's on course, yes, but he's not yet training with the team or whatever. We know it's a long term, so but he's on course.
Philippe, just wanted to ask you about the title race. It's so close to the top with 11 games to go. So
Yeah, you remind me every time.
every time you're going to have a couple of weeks of it.
It's going to be interesting, and I need to come up every time with new answers also. It's going to be my biggest challenge.
New question is, your title race is in Belgium. You won the Belgian League 3 times. What was the closest title race you had in your career?
I don't remember, to be honest, and I'm really honest now.
Did you have any close ones that went down to the final few weeks?
Yeah, it was every time like that, because in Belgium they have the incredible good idea, no, not good from my side, to divide these points at the end. So I remember one thing I remember really well. Now, I remember a lot of things. That's the problem with my brain sometimes, that I remember too much. No, with Genk, the first title as a manager, we were fighting with Bruges all season. We were in Europe long time. We were in the cup long time. We had a lot of games. We had a really small squad. I could not rotate like I'm doing here in the same way. And 3 weeks before the playoffs, our playmaker and the guy where all the offensive football was built around, he left to go to MLS, because in his contract there was a clause that he could do that without the club could do something. So I could not be angry with the club. I stopped it in January with talks with him, but at the end he went and he explained me with tears in his eyes that he could not quit this opportunity, because it was something that would not only help him and his wife, but also his children, money-wise. And he showed me the numbers, and it was crazy. So at the end, you need to let him go. You don't have the power also to stop him. So it was a big blow, and everybody was saying, with Genk, it's finished now. So that was 3 weeks before these playoffs, and the last game before the playoffs, we play a home game, and the other very important midfielder, Malinovski, so Pozuelo left to go to Toronto. Malinovski get a red card, and he was suspended. He get a suspension for 9 games. 9. Because he fell down, and with his foot he touched the chest of another player, and the committee said 9 games. And I went crazy in my head because you lose your number 10. We didn't have another number 10 of high quality there. And you lose your number 8 also. But for me, the 9 games was a crazy result to do that, because he fell down, and because for me of the movement that he fell down on his hip, and I know something about hips because I have a hip operation already. So because of the movement, when your hip goes dead, one moment or it breaks or your legs go back. So I went to a professor of the university to ask, am I right? And I explained him everything, and he said, yes, you're right. So I asked him to go with me to the committee. And we went together to explain the story, what happened, and the committee understood, and he gets 0 games. So they came back on the decision, because it was pure biodynamics. So at the end we win the title, but there were a lot of stories before. And that was, it was an exciting period.
Do you think that the experience of not only the red card story with the professor, but being neck and neck so many times, winning league titles, that experience, can that give you the added edge? How much will that help you going into these finals?
It will help me. I know what it is. I know what the dangers are, and I try to explain my team that, my players that. So I know all the excitement around and the noise and living and looking at results of others and all the stupid things you can do that are of no use. So I try to explain that to my players. So that helps in a way, probably. Definitely with a few players, but that's why I'm saying from the beginning we're only focused on ourselves, because I made the mistakes before when I was a player. So I know really well what you need to do to win titles.
I think we spoke to Mohammed before you came in, and he's talking about how he's settled in and the impact he's making. Do you feel he's going to continue to grow more games?
Oh, for sure. And not only the next weeks, the next months, the next years here. So for me, what I told you guys before he came, he's a high potential player. And I don't think that Rangers will be his last step. No, I don't think so, I'm sure. Of course, you need some luck with injuries in your career, but if he stays out of that, he's going to make bigger steps. Because he has talent, but not only talent, but also the really right mentality. To work for the team, to be very concentrated, to be very focused. And those are the things you're looking for when you go in talks with players. You always can see what they can do on the pitch or what they are doing, and you think you can improve as a gaffer. But the most important thing is how people are ambitious to evolve themselves and how they want to take in information and work around that. And he's somebody with really high focus on those things. So it's like a sponge. He will get better and better. The more information he gets, the more experience he gets, the better he will become.
Can he reach the very top?
I think so, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Dailies?
Thank you.